Welcome to the Armchair Adventures Travel Agency, Journeys of the Imagination. I'm head travel agent and host, Connie.
On an armchair adventure, you can go anywhere you like. On an armchair adventure, imaginations fly.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're listening from, adventurers. The voices of this episode's special guest adventurers are...
Chloe, Lucas,
Ollie,
Elizabeth, Imogen,
Marnie,
Darcy, Caspian.
Hi everyone!
Hi, Connie!
You too can star in an episode of Armchair Adventures as one of our special guest adventurers. All you need to do is ask your grown-up if you can join the Armchair Adventures fan club on Patreon. Simply head to patreon.com/Armchair Adventures for more info. On an armchair adventure, we can go anywhere we like from the comfort of where we are right now. So they're perfect for everyone, no matter what age you are. Restart call now.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Hello, Connie.
Hello there.
Nice to know you.
Hello. Hello.
Hiya.
Hello.
So, the last time you were here, adventurer, we met Mrs Maestro, a lovely lady that owns a bus company and loves singing.
Hi adventurers, I'm Mrs Maestro. What's my name, adventurers? Mrs Maestro. You've got it. Mrs Maestro. Mrs Maestro. Mrs Maestro. My name is Mrs Maestro and I own a bus company. I've travelled the country and I've faced many bumps in the road. So whenever you need to get from A to B, just call Mrs Maestro. That's me! What's my name, adventurers? Mrs Maestro. Mrs Maestro. Mrs Maestro. Mrs Maestro. My name is Mrs Maestro and I own a bus company. I'm always on time. I'm always very friendly. So whenever you need to get from A to B, just call Mrs Maestro. That's me! What's my name, adventurers? Mrs Maestro. You got it. Mrs Maestro. Mrs Maestro. Mrs Maestro.
In the last episode, we met the wonderful Mrs Maestro and we're helping her collect the musicians from an orchestra so they can get to the super-duper concert on time. We picked up the Woodwind family from the park and now everyone is back on the bus. But we're running late for our pickups already and Mrs Maestro can't remember the route.
Don't worry, Connie. You and the adventurers and your customers are going to help me by singing my route song. Don't forget to count the beat with your hands. Ready? Well, off we go. Music, music, 1, 2, 3, 4. Music, music, I've got to pick up an orchestra. Music, music, 1, 2, 3, 4. Music, music, and this is my order. First I collect the woodwind from the park. Next it is the strings from the ice cream parlour. Then it is the brass from the great grand palace. And finally percussion from the disco. Music, music, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ice cream parlour, here we come. Thank you, adventurers. We're here. The String family at the ice cream parlour. Can you imagine it? A giant scoop of ice cream, swirls of raspberry sauce, loads of rainbow sprinkles, and a cherry on the top.
She's doing it again, making hand gestures to the music.
A giant scoop of ice cream, swirls of raspberry sauce, loads of rainbow sprinkles, and a cherry on the top.
First, she pretends to scoop a ball of ice cream from a giant tub and plops it in a bowl from up high.
Then she swirls her hand and arms down like lashings of raspberry sauce.
Oh, then she uses her fingers to make it rain rainbow sprinkles.
Then she plucks a juicy cherry and pops it on the top.
Why don't you make gestures with your hands to represent the things you can see in the ice cream parlour, adventurers? Remember, be guided by the music.
A giant scoop of ice cream, swirls of raspberry sauce, loads of rainbow sprinkles, and a cherry on the top.
These ice creams are delicious.
Mine's a large cornet.
Strawberry for me. You can't beat the classic flavours.
Oh, a vat of vanilla.
Pistachio.
Caramel.
Mine's got a sparkler and an umbrella on top.
I'm eating mine on a giant spoon.
Well, I'm a tutti frutti.
What's your favourite ice cream combination, adventurers?
Strawberry ice cream, sauce and sprinkles. Mr. Whippy with loads of sauce. 5 scoops of chocolate with sauce and sprinkles. Bubblegum with blue sauce.
Come in, Darren.
What's Mrs Maestro doing now?
She's staring into her purse.
She looks confused.
Like I said, Mrs Maestro's memory is not what it once was. Sometimes she forgets. Sometimes she gets confused. Sometimes everyday tasks can become very challenging for her. Mrs Maestro, that's all of the String family on the bus. It's time to pay for all the ice cream now.
Of course, it'll be my pleasure. It was absolutely, positively delicious. Just a mo, I'm just trying to work out my money.
Don't worry, Mrs Maestro. Let's do it together. We'll help you. Isn't that right, gang?
Happy to help. Problem.
Of course we'll
My
help.
second name is Help.
Thank you, everyone. What am I like, eh? Fit for scrap man, I am. All right, Darren, keep your wig on. Ooh, he's enough to drive you doolally, that lad. A face like a hippo's armpit. He's right, though. Look at the time. We'll never get the orchestra to the super-duper concert on time at this rate. And we still have 2 more pickups.
Oh no, and I'm really looking forward to the concert. I hope we do make it. Come in, Darren. I can see what you mean, Mrs Maestro. He is moody. Now, who's got any money to pay for all this ice cream?
Oh, it's my treat.
No problem, I'll pay happily.
I'll pay.
No chance, this is my treat. Where's my wallet?
I don't think people pay with actual money anymore, Connie. I'll tap my debit card.
That's nothing. I've got Apple Pay on my phone. Stand back.
Out of the way. My smartwatch is all I need to pay.
I'll pay.
No, let me pay.
No, me.
Get out of it. The watch is quicker.
Is not.
It is.
The phone is.
Smartwatch.
Debit card. Oh, forget it.
Will somebody just pay for our ice creams? Thank you.
Well, we picked up the Woodwind family from the park and the Strings from the ice cream parlour. So next, it must be the Brass family from the palace. We're here! The brass family in the palace. Oh, can you imagine it? All the flags are waving. Musicians, take a bow. Everybody's cheering. The gates are open now.
Look, Mrs Maestro's making hand gestures again, inspired by the music.
First, she pretends to move the flag backwards and forwards.
Then she uses her hands and arms to take a very fancy and royal-looking bow.
And then she throws both hands in the air and waves.
Finally, she crosses her arms in front of her, as if opening a pair of enormous gates.
It's wonderful to watch.
I love how Mrs Maestro's hand gestures and movements are inspired by the music.
Why don't you make gestures with your hands to represent the things you can see in the Great Grand Palace, adventurers? Remember to be guided by the music.
All the flags are waving. Musicians, take a bow. Everybody's cheering. The gates are open now.
That was amazing.
I've never been anywhere so grand as this.
What was it like being at a Great Grand Palace, adventurers?
It was so glamorous. Everything was so big and fancy.
I've never been anywhere that grand before.
Very regal.
What is Mrs Maestro up to now?
She's sat in the corner, all on her own.
She looks sort of sad looking.
I hope she's okay.
Connie, go over and talk to her.
Mrs Maestro's memory is not what it once was. Sometimes she forgets. Sometimes she gets confused. Sometimes things get a bit too much for her. Mrs Maestro, that's all of the brass family on the bus. Are you okay?
I just need a few moments, love, and I'll be as right as rain. I was a bit out of my comfort zone back there.
I think we were all out of our comfort zone, Mrs Maestro. It's not every day you get to visit a palace.
No, I suppose not. But I do just need a few moments, love. I'll be with you in a jiffy. Get yourself on the bus, Chuck.
If you're sure.
I'm sure. Oh, the concert. Oh, sorry, adventurers, what am I like? We've got to get to the super-duper concert on time. The conductor, 1, 2, 3, 4, will be waiting for us. Next stop, the percussion from the disco. Off we go.
Music, music, 1, 2, 3, 4. Music, music,
I've got to pick up an orchestra.
music, music, 1, 2, 3, 4. Music, music,
And this is my order. We're here. The final pickup. The percussion family in the disco. A disco. Can you imagine it?
This time, Mrs Maestro throws her arms in the air, one after the other.
And then rolls them down, one hand over the other.
Just like a disco dance move.
Why don't you do a disco dance move with your hands and arms, adventurers, to the disco music? Ready? Go!
Listen, adventurers. Mrs Maestro is doing a call and response with the percussion instrument from the orchestra.
The musicians play a beat on their instruments, and Mrs Maestro plays it back on her body.
I want to go at that.
Me too. You have a go at call and response, adventurers.
music stopped, but Mrs M's still dancing, look.
She's still lost in the moment.
Don't forget, Mrs Maestro's memory is not what it once was. Sometimes she forgets, sometimes she gets lost in the moment. The music simply sets her free. Mrs Maestro, the whole orchestra is on the bus now. But look at the time. I don't think we'll make the super-duper concert on time now. I've just checked on Google Maps and the traffic is terrible.
Don't worry, Connie. I know a back route. When you've been in the bus company game as long as I have, you get to know these things. The back route is a little bit, well, bumpy, with a few surprises along the way, but if we use it, I'm sure we'll get us there on time.
Well, I'm looking on Google Maps on my phone and I can't see any back route.
Where we're going, Connie, there are no maps.
Oh, right. No maps. Bumpy with a few surprises. Sounds, well, an adventure, I suppose. But for that adventure, adventurers, we'll have to wait for part 3. See you next time.
On an armchair adventure, you can go anywhere you like. On an armchair adventure, imaginations fly.
Armchair Adventures is a Made by Mortals production. This episode was funded by the Arts Council England. Thank you.